My people. So, good morning, my people. It's a wonderful day again, and today, as always, a lot of stories from Biafra land. But I am not one of them because I know that what we had wanted, each one of every one of us that I've spoken with, our mind was to get a Biafran minded individual completely, somebody who we can call our own. But we were not even close to that because even the two candidates that were left at the long run, for me, weren't the real thing. They weren't the real people I looked upon. We are not going to give up. We continue moving and moving and moving. We continue going till we find the Biafra that we all are looking for. Chido Fodile has been knocked out by Chekwas and Company, UPP and Sons Limited. They've done their job, and yeah, it's time now for us to ask which way. Where are we going from here? What are we going to do about that? Are we going to just say, oh, the Biafran people should have known it? We don't have a party. It's time we have to go and look for our own party. So let's make a new arrangement. Is that where it ends? Is that where we should start? I believe not. I believe not. We are going to put to rest any argument, any form of deceit, any kind of problem that will come to fetch us tomorrow, that will come and hinder anything we are going to do tomorrow. It's not as easy as moving forward. We have to settle what we have at hand. And what we have at hand is that UPP disappointed us and somebody has to be held responsible. If that is not done, there is no moving forward. Because moving forward, saying we let's go and form another party and start there and form a party that we will call our own, then it's not as easy as starting on a party that we will call our own. It's to bring people into understanding that that is what we really need to do. And when we have our own party, that we need to be trusted. It have not been shown in the days of Apoga, and this time again, where there is a very big heat, a very big debate on yes and no, vote and no vote. It's a time we come and observe such massive letdown again by somebody who we believe is one of the Supreme Council of Elders. So there is a very much bigger problem than we thought. It means from the core of our struggle is deceit. From the core, the government of the struggle is a very big problem, and you can't just let it go like that and say let's keep moving, let's go and form another one. Which other one will you form that will be more called Biafran than the one that was owned by a Supreme Council of Elders, a member of the Council of Elders? Which other Biafran party will we form that will be more solid, that will be more recognized, that will be more Biafran? So if this is a Biafran party and something like this happen, we must have to get to the core of it. We must have to hold somebody responsible. And if we don't do it, starting another one means that we are just stupid people. You don't get anything by running up and down. It's called helter skelter. It doesn't work. We have to know why what happened. Why the Supreme Council of Elders does not know that they own that party or they are responsible for whatever Chekwas might do with the party and the Biafran people. Each one of them should bear responsibility. If they are not reasonable up to this extent, then they are not reasonable enough to be the Biafran government. We must give the confidence back to the people that what happened in UPP, what happened in Apoga will not happen if we form another party. So how do you do that? If you don't prove to them that you can hold anybody who does anything that we don't want accountable. We have to prove it to the Biafran people that we are capable of holding them accountable. And by so doing, we have to set an example that is going to be visible to all eyes. not by just saying accountability. We have not had a board, we have not had a committee, we have not had an organization that is responsible for holding our people accountable, making the people have the confidence in the system that nobody is going to fuck around with the system, nobody is going to play with the Biafran brand, nobody will have that guts to just come and jump and use us anyhow. They have used the Biafran brand before. We know about Apuga and the people who use the Biafran brand to climb from nothing to heavyweight today. Now look at it again. Chekwas Okorie is the biggest disappointment of the time. I've even heard some people who just closely worked with him now call me and tell me that that guy is not even an Igbo man. How much more talking about being a Biafran? Check when people who have worked in confidence, people who respected you, people who believed in you are now saying this about you. These people have no shame. These people don't care about how much people talk about them, in as much as the money is in their pocket. These are very wretched millionaires, very, very shameless animals. And these are the people we call the government of Biafra. People are comparing what happened in UPP to be worse than what happens in other parties. And we say we want our own nation. When the Nigerian political parties are better than the Biafran political party, then the Nigerian government is equally going to be better than the Nigerian government. So we should really get to the bottom of what makes Chekwas Okorie behave like this. What agreement, what do the Supreme Council of Elders knows about what just happened? What was the agreement between Emeka Siri and Chekwas Okorie? What did he tell him? We need to know the agreement, what they talked about. How was it that Emeka so much believed in Chekwas to convince the Biafra people to follow this party, UPP? Everybody will share the cake of this burden. All of them who caused it, they are going to be involved in swallowing it. Because if not so, there is nothing like Biafra we are doing. We are deceiving ourselves, and we are too old to be so stupid among to ourselves. The first thing you have to do to get a struggle, now you cannot longer use political means to go for this anymore. The only possible, although we so also believe, I'm one person who is always so positive that nothing is impossible, no matter how difficult it is. We have made it more and more difficult that people will never trust that political system, which is what they have been saying from the onset, which is why people believe that the Nnamdi ideology of just give us Biafra is better than you planning with a very rigid, solidified, workable, plausible ideology. They don't believe in all those things because they know that if you have all those plans, they are clean, they are neat, they are workable, but your mind is so soiled that the corruption in our people will not even allow them to follow their own wonderful plans. Because those wonderful plans were just set there to key the people in and then dip their hands inside their pocket, which is exactly what Chekwas has done. Shame on to this kind of people who will be looking at the death of their children and still continue to do this at this time. Shame unto a man of that caliber who have not up to now the foresight to know that this is his time to make himself immortal. And wonder the kind of money this kind of man will be looking for to blind him the sight of understanding that this is the time he could crown his great grandchildren by doing the most important thing that he could do for himself, for his generation, and for the Biafran people. If he understood, if this man is somebody who is intelligent, if this man is somebody who is wise, if this man is somebody who is blessed by God, because there is a lot of blessings, you will know that this is your time. You are the man who came at the right time. having what is needed at the time it is needed for your own people. And the momentum is there. Right now, anybody that climbs into the seat of UPP, if it is recognized as the Biafran party, will just get that seat. But believe me, your plan is not going to work, because we are going to make sure that Chidoka does not get into that seat. And if the Biafran people fail to do that, that means you have won the first one and you have won the second one. So the best thing, we start fighting now to hold this man accountable for this very stupidity he showed, is to make sure that this man he is in favor of does not get there. To make sure that the Biafran people know that UPP have nothing to do with being an Igbo party, how much more a Biafran party. To make sure that that choice UPP have chosen that failed the Biafran people will completely go into ash. It's not going to work. Instead PDP, instead APC, instead let any other party, let APUGA continue. Let whosoever continue if there will be election. But for UPP to climb into the seat of governorship in Anambra State will be the greatest letdown for the Biafran people, will be the greatest show of weakness for the Biafran movement. But if the Biafran people can succeed in bringing this Chidoka down and also humiliating Chekwas Okorie, bringing him to his knees, then the Biafran people will be proud to tell the people, look at what happens to fools who use the Biafran struggle for a play. And that is what it should be. You should always be proud to tell the people that this is what happened to animals who don't understand the value of the Biafran lives. You must have something to show. But saying, let's move on, forget about Chekwas, that this is not a Biafran party, we go and find our own party and continue from there. There is no way you can prove to somebody that is going to be another greater party that will become a Biafran party, that one owned by the member of the Supreme Council of Elders. The only way you can prove that change can be made is that we have had two Biafran parties. You have to be straight, you have to be truthful in these things, and you have to show your result by pointing hands at what has happened and the consequences. We have had a Biafran party in the name of APUGA that transported people to the high chiefs, and unfortunately nobody paid for it. We have also had this time another Biafran party called the UPP that failed the Biafran people again, and this is the consequence of that very event, because we learned our lesson from the first episode. As a first fool, no be fool. Second fool, na proper foolish. If we just let go, if we say let's just turn around and start another party and find our way, you cannot convince the people that you are capable enough to control the system. So that is why, if the Biafra people agree with me, Chekwas has made the greatest mistake of his life, because he's not going to get away with it. If, from my own perspective, I only need to make him pay dearly for disappointing the generations, our generations, the generations and generations that we hope for in Biafra land. I wish that the Biafran people will make him pay in any way possible, but sparing his life. Let every man live.